And it's July 28th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClaimsOnline.com, presented by Mungenast, St. Louis, Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey. I'm going to get that right one of these days. I keep wanting to go to my right rammer when I point, but you're in this box right over there, so I have to point that way to show people where you are in the broadcast. Hello, Rammer. Good morning.
Hello, Joe. You know, for decades, we've talked about nerdy sports guys being in their mom's basement. Not in my mom's basement, but I'm in my own. And if you folks hear a lot of noise during the show, getting a new roof on the house.
It's just you and the boys bopping, right?
Yeah. So I've gone down to the delve in the bunker.
All right, so we'll just play with that. It's you know what? It's probably just more Harrison Bader bombs that he's
exactly
hitting.
Right.
3 for 4 yesterday, and Rammer not going with a hat today. I went headband today in honor of Harrison Bader's 3 for 4.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing the costume thing now. It's now a costume show. Okay.
You know what? I have a plethora of headbands at my, in my house. So
you know you're a grown up now. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I need the hair out of my eyes. So it's and
there's another solution for that.
That's one that's not possible. It's not one to talk about. Yeah, it's not one that we're discussing. But I also had this because this weekend, Rammer, is my Alton High alumni baseball game. And we are the Redbirds, and I had purchased this for last year's game that never happened. So it has yet to be worn, and I found multiple uses for it today on the show. But we need to start with Harrison Bader. The lineup is out for today's game, and once again we are going to see Harrison Bader in the bottom half of the lineup, although he moved up one whole spot. As he will, the lineup today looks like this: Dylan Carlson in right, Paul Goldschmidt DHing, Nolan Arenado at third, Tyler O'Neill in left, Molina behind the plate, Bader in center, Edman at second, Carpenter at first, and DeYoung is at short with KK on the mound. As you are slowly seeing Harrison Bader being moved up further and further in the lineup, how long does this hot streak need to continue before we see him really bumped up?
Well, there are two angles. One, the Bader angle in the numbers and how hot can he stay. Two is how it affects everyone else around them and how changes could affect them. Let's talk about Bader first. He had one horrible month, and he's had one fantastic month. I'm asking you, who's the real guy? Or is the real guy where the numbers are now, in between Hall of Fame numbers and go back to the minors numbers? Is it where it is right now, which is pretty darn good? If his overall numbers revert, and by that I mean not 1,000, 1,200 OPS like it is in July, but down to 800-900, you've still got a tremendous baseball player who relative to the rest of the lineup should be in a more impactful spot. Now, here's the other part. Who do you move and why do you move them? If I were making the lineup today, I probably would have had him hit second behind Carlson, and then shifted people down. My concern is that Mike Schilt might be worried too much about egos, and if a guy's hitting cleanup and then he hits fifth, if Yadier Molina, who's cooled way off, probably due to an injury more than anything else, should he still be hitting fifth? If it were me, I think Yadi should hit seventh, and you just tell him, go catch and throw. Lead this pitching staff. Your hitting's going to come and go. We're happy with that. We love you as a two-strike hitter. We love you where you are. Take the pressure off. I think that's how I would approach it, but I'm not in the clubhouse. Nobody is really, except for that inner circle. So dealing with egos and moving those things around, I got to keep reminding myself, to be in the lineup nerd, and others, it's not just the numbers. You're dealing with the people who have to deliver the numbers. having said all that, I'd move Bader up.
Yeah, I said yesterday I would like to see him hitting second in the lineup, and to move everybody back one. And with yours, you're talking moving Yadi back 2 spots from where he is right now, and he has cooled off. But you know what? He came real close to busting the game wide open yesterday with the bases loaded and that shot down the line that was caught by the left fielder. So hopefully that is a sign of things to come. And we did see the strike him out, throw him out double play in the game yesterday. So the defense also showed up yesterday too. And with that being said, he and Wainwright were battery mates once again in a game. This was Adam Wainwright's 33rd field that he has pitched in his major league career, as he went 7 strong again. I don't know if you saw the stat last night or heard the stat last night, but he is the only pitcher in Major League Baseball, with more 7-inning games than Adam Wainwright has been in this year is Zach Wheeler of the Mets. So pretty impressive for a guy that's almost 40 years old.
Yeah, and something we probably wouldn't have expected. Certainly you would have hoped for it for a guy hanging in there. But, he's a full earned run lower than what I would have considered acceptable. He has stepped up and exceeded everyone's expectations, especially in a time when 2 of your top 3 guys are injured out of the rotation. He has really been remarkable. We shouldn't be surprised for anything Adam Wainwright can accomplish.
No, and with that being, with that, Memphis last night had Jack Flaherty on the mound, and they, as I look through his stats, 2 innings pitched, he had 1 hit and 3 strikeouts. So he's slowly going to move him back up and extend him after he has missed. I didn't realize just how long he's been out for. I did not realize how many days that he has missed for this team. Dating all the way back to the beginning of June.
Yeah, the obliques and ribs and all those kinds of things, they can just linger and linger and linger. And it gets very frustrating. And we've talked about it before, how much you work out, how you work out. And really they were probably back in the old days, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago, probably went too much the anti-workout way of you can't have too many muscles, you'll tear them. Baseball's a game of flexibility. Probably somewhere in between is about right. And but these things can be very frustrating. You got to be careful that you don't push too hard too fast when you're trying to come back and have a setback.
Paul DeJong last night was the hero with his 2-run home run late in the game in the top of the 7th inning, now hitting .209. So he has increased that batting average over 10 points in the last week or so, something that you really like to see. Is, as I sat here, and I've said it a few times, I think Paul DeJong is a guy that I wouldn't mind seeing get moved. If you find a shortstop that you can put in there for the rest of the year, give him some new scenery, because things hadn't been working out here the last year and a half or so. But if he starts to turn it around, as you talk about a lot, lengthening the lineup, he definitely lengthens the lineup quite a bit if he starts to hit the way that he has been.
It's funny with him hitting so far down at the bottom of the order. I kind of thought, because he's had a pretty good July, not pretty good, real good. And, but they keep him there. And again, I think it's probably dealing with personality and egos. Here's the other thing when we talk about O'Neill and Bader and Molina and all these lineup things. At what point you don't want to chase the stats. I've mentioned this before. You'll always be behind if you chase them. You don't want to play guys to failure. Well, we'll hit him here until he fails. Well, then you messed up as a skipper, because now you coach failure. But there's no easy formula to do that. It's pretty typical to do things that way. But the great ones find a way to enhance the opportunities for a given player, and hopefully each player in your lineup, to put them in a position to perform. And that's the goal every day for Mike Shilton in Major League Managers.
The Cardinals today, it'll be KK against Zach Plesac. What do you expect to see out of KK today?
Well, the expectation is that he keeps you in the game, and that if he has command and doesn't get frustrated, he is a guy who seems like a perfectionist, doesn't he? Something doesn't go his way, he lets you know that he's upset with himself. So I think if he has command, the expectation is you get a good start. Really, it's he and Wainwright, and pray for guys to get healthy. And so you need a good one out of him to keep momentum going.
There's a lot that's talked about with the father-son combos in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. Okay. But last night it was Cal Quantrill, the son of Paul Quantrill, who was pitching for the Indians last night. Today it's Zach Plesac, not the son, but the nephew of Dan Plesac. Yep. So a lot of family ties there in that Indians pitching staff to former major league ball players.
It's funny, they were talking about it on the Bally Sports broadcast last night, and it does seem like the last, I don't know, whatever the time frame is, 10 years or so, that that professional athletics, and specifically to our topic, baseball, has become a family business. And if you can, whether it's kids of bankers going into the banking business, if you can put somebody in the major league sports business, you've created family wealth that will last for generations.
You just gave me a great segue into a live read, but damn it, Rammer, I have a story to tell before we get there, because last 2 weeks ago at the All-Star game, talking to Nick Castellanos, he was on the team bus, and he said that was the first time that he met Fernando Tatis Jr., and he said he went up to him and introduced himself, and he told Fernando Tatis Jr., he said, "I'd really like to meet your dad because I want to find out how he made you." He goes, he goes, he goes, "I got a little boy at home and I want him to be the next Fernando Tatis Jr. So I want to talk to your dad and figure out how that's possible." So I thought that was a great story from Nick Castellanos last week.
That is awesome.
You mentioned bankers having their sons go into the banking family. Rammer, tell us about your friends at Royal Banks.
Yeah, Royal Banks will make you feel that way as a terrific business, because Royal Banks talks about service and reaching out to their customers, and their goal always is to help you achieve your financial goals. Do you need a new checking account? Do you need a new mortgage? Those are kind of two ends of the spectrum. Royal Banks is there to help you find the best product for you and your goals. And it's easy to get on board with Royal Banks. Give them a call and talk to one of their great friendly bankers, 314-212-1500. Or you can always get started by going online, a terrific website that lays it all out, royalbanksofmo.com. It's Royal Banks, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Is that the Slew Night ball cap from the Cardinal game that you're wearing today?
Yes, well done. Cardinal logo. Is that the Billiken logo? Billiken logo, Fox Sports Midwest logo. So because Fox Sports Midwest is no longer, I'd like to think it's a collector's item, but probably not. But
which Billiken's logo is that?
This is this is the new one.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it'd really be a collector's item if you had the old Billiken's logo on there too.
But if you want to go vintage wear, this is my Slew volleyball. This is from when my wife played. This is one of her old T-shirts from when she played at Slew. I'm going vintage wear for you.
Hey, this has been another edition of Daily Cards Live. The game starts in 1 hour from right now. 12:10 start time. 1 hour from right now is when the Cardinals face the Cleveland Indians for the final time ever, as next year they become the Cleveland Guardians. So that game will be at 12:10 Central Time. That'll do it for us today here on Daily Cards Live, presented by Mungenast St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks of Missouri. I'm Joe Roderick. He's Bob Ramsey. We'll talk to you tomorrow.